look at what we've got going on tonight here in Los Angeles, Mike Breen. I don't know what's more surprising, the fact that the Lakers are having such a struggle an injury-riddled struggle, or the fact that the Knicks have the same record as the Lakers coming into this game. They have the same record, and the team that is on the upswing because they are more, I guess, well put together and healthier are the Knicks. What has this renaissance been like to call and see front and center, Mike?
Well, I think all of us, when we think about our favorite teams that we root for, regardless of what sport it is, to me, the most enjoyable seasons as a fan, whether it be for me like a Mets fan or a football Giants fan or a Knicks fan, were the years where the team just completely overachieves and they come out of nowhere and surprise you with their terrific play and their success. Those are always the fun ones. The years where, one of your teams is a championship contender and you think they should win the title or could. I mean, they're great, obviously, and especially if they do win it. But I've always felt these are the kind of years that are most satisfying and the teams that fans remember. And that's what I feel about this team because, for Knicks fans, it's been years of really torture in terms of, so desperate and so hungry just to have a contending team. And it seems every year right after the All-Star break, the season goes off the cliff for whatever reason. And for them to be a team that every month seems to get better, that's what's been really fun. And early defense carried them. Now all of a sudden, they've had one of the best offensive teams over the last month. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. I mean, that was their number one weakness coming into the year. It's incredible. And I think I said on the air during a game on MSG last week before a game, I said, the Knicks have the 8th best record in the NBA. And then I said, let me repeat that. I almost couldn't believe me saying it, that They had the 8th best record in the entire league. And it's a credit to, starting with Thibodeau, and then with players who are willing to be coached hard and bought in and are willing to sacrifice individual successes for team success. It has been so much fun to watch, Rich, because they play the game that many of us love when it's, what's the old expression? The whole is better than the sum of its parts. And they are the epitome of that.
That said, they've got a hell of a part in Julius Randle. I've got Mike Breen here on the Rich Eisen Show. Where did he come from? We all know, obviously, how his career, and that's a big game and a big spot tonight, obviously, here in the home of the Lakers. And just watching him, it's just been, for me, and I go way back too, where I'm from, seeing him in Bernard King's 30 is just jarring, and how good he is. And what he is doing and carrying on that terrific tradition of that number and his worthy MVP type play. How did this all come together for Julius Randle, best you can tell, Mike?
Well, I think last year was one of the hardest years of his career, if not the hardest, because he was coming to New York to, assume leadership and now show that he could be the guy, and it didn't work out. And amazingly, he's been so public about that. The piece he wrote in the Players Tribune, I would say to anybody who hasn't read it, read it, and you'll become an instant fan of Julius Randle, because he took a hard look in the mirror and realized, yeah, I can do some things. I have some talent. But boy, was I not a good leader or a team basketball player last year. And his numbers were okay. He was like 19 and 10 for crying out loud. And most guys think, hey, I did my job. But he didn't think that. In fact, he thought he did a poor job, and what he spent his whole time off improving on every aspect, and that's the thing that blows me away. He's improved on every facet of his game, not just shooting, but shooting from the free throw line, his mid-range shot, his three-point shot. He's improved his defense, not just his on-ball defense, but his help defense. He's improved his decision-making. He's improved his leadership. It's one of the biggest one-season turnarounds of a player that I've seen in almost 30 years of broadcast in the NBA, and it's because he realized that he fell short, looked in the mirror, and said, "I'm going to do something about this." It's truly a terrific, incredible story of a one-year turnaround for a player like that.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.